Heya Cryptozens. Tonight's show: Celsius Watch, European Union to ban Russian crypto payments, and Binance's Global Law Enforcement Training Program. It's 10 p.m. Pacific Time. The date is September 28th, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. A news release came out yesterday. Alex Mashinsky, CEO of Celsius Network, he's on his way out. According to that press release, he resigned immediately. He said, quote, "I regret that my continued role as CEO has become an increasing distraction, and I am very sorry about the difficult financial circumstances members of our community are facing. Since the pause, I have been working tirelessly to help the company and its advisors put forward a viable plan for the company to return coins to creditors in the fairest and most efficient way." And not only is he resigning as CEO, but his other positions at other subsidiaries too. However, he is going to maintain his director role at the company. Cell, their native token, dropped by 8% on the news. It's a difficult fall from grace to watch, really. The Celsius network took off like a rocket, almost right from when it got its start in 2017. At its height, 1.7 million customers, $25 billion in assets under management, $850 million in interest paid earlier this year. But like many companies, things went south when crypto winter hit. See, the problem is that crypto winter exposed all the flaws. And when times got lean, Celsius's practice of risky leveraged trading finally got to them. And so withdrawals were stopped in June of this year. Eventually, we would learn that there is a $2.85 billion gap in their balance sheet. Lots of people found their equity was worthless. According to Celsius's co-founder, Daniel Leon, even he lost out. He said in court that his equity was worthless. Reportedly, Mashinsky tried to aggressively trade his way to get Celsius in the clear. When that failed, the company was forced to file for bankruptcy. Mashinsky tried to set things to right by restructuring Celsius to focus on mining and custody. And as we all know, none of those things really worked out. And so, Alex Mashinsky's time at Celsius has drawn to a close. And it does look like some of that decision to resign came from external pressure. The official committee of unsecured creditors is a group of former Celsius customers. They have asked for Mashinsky's removal from the company. In a statement, they wrote, "The committee believes, based on the information it has reviewed, that Mr. Ferraro is capable of overseeing the debtor's assets and affairs and looks forward to further dialogue with Mr. Ferraro, the special committee, and the debtor's advisors regarding the next phase of the restructuring process." And it might have been part of his decision-making process, because he wrote, quote, "I believe we will all get more if Celsians stay united and help the UCC with the best recovery plan. I remain willing and available to continue to work with the company and their advisors to achieve a successful reorganization." Now, just one day after Mashinsky resigns, SBF enters the chat again. A Bloomberg report has Sam Bankman-Fried considering buying the assets of Celsius. They cited, quote, "a person familiar with his deal-making," whatever that means. So far, there's no indication whether that means all of Celsius's assets or just some. Would they be buying any toxic debt? There's no real sense of that yet. But it would appear that they intend to save Celsius, much like what FTX has done for Voyager. And keep in mind, this is just coming from someone reportedly familiar with how SBF makes deals. That said, it sure seems possible. Recently, SBF said that he had about $1 billion of dry powder ready for bailouts and acquisitions. Now, Celsius announced that they were $1.2 billion in deficit. Celsius would not be the only company losing a high-level executive. Brett Harrison is stepping down from his role as FTX US's president. This came in a Twitter announcement on the 27th of September. That said, unlike Mashinsky, Harrison isn't leaving right away. He said he was sticking around to help, quote, with the goal of removing technological barriers to full participation in and maturation of global crypto markets, both centralized and decentralized. So that means he's going to be transitioning into an advisory role over the next few months. In his announcement, he wrote, quote, I can't wait to share more about what I'm doing next. Until then, I'll be assisting Sam and the team with this transition to ensure FTX ends the year with all its characteristic momentum. So now look at all the high-powered types resigning lately. Mashinsky, Harrison, Jesse Powell from Kraken, Saylor from MicroStrategy. In other FTX news, they're moving their headquarters from Chicago to Miami. This isn't exactly virgin territory for them. They've been building their presence in southern Florida for some time now, including purchasing the naming rights to the Miami Heat Arena. And it didn't take long. Just 4 months ago, they were getting started in Chicago. They had Mayor Lori Lightfoot marking the opening ceremony of FTX's 9,000 square feet facility. 4 months later, and they're jumping ship. I do wonder what will happen to their plans for financial education of Chicago's underbanked citizens. SBF was speaking with Bloomberg about the move when he said establishing offices all over the world was key to their plan to get licensure for their various businesses. For example, they moved FTX's global HQ from Hong Kong to the Bahamas. He said, quote, frankly for us, having clear licensure for our marketplaces is by far the biggest piece of this. That is what we've been focusing on. I'm sure Mayor Soares is quite pleased because he has made a priority of bringing in crypto companies and crypto talent to Miami. As we like to do on this show, let's take a look at the numbers. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $943 billion. That's up 0.85%. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin up 1.43%, Ethereum up 0.21%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin up 3.2%. The European Union is going to block Russian crypto investments. This is in response to what they're calling sham independence votes held in Russian-occupied regions of Ukraine. Last April, the EU tightened down on Russian crypto payments. They previously instituted a cap of 10,000 euros. This was after sanctions came down, restricting large bank account transfers from Russian accounts. They were concerned that Russians would use crypto to get around those sanctions. And this limit was part of the 5th sanctions package imposed on Russia as a response to the war in Ukraine. At the time, they said it would, quote, contribute to the closing potential loopholes in existing restrictions. And this came in the same batch of sanctions that saw sanctions on 4 Russian banks and coal imports. When the first round of tightening came down, it prohibited providing, quote, high-value crypto wallet, account, or custody services in the amount of more than 10,000 euros. Well, now, this goes potentially further. Potentially, this means that the cap is now 0. EU President Ursula von der Leyen was speaking to reporters on Wednesday. Now, keep in mind, this is after the Russian-held votes in the regions of Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia. Now, along with that, they're also imposing a price cap on Russian oil, a ban on importing aviation items, and electronic components. It's estimated that this move will deprive the Russians of 7 billion euros. Keep in mind now, we haven't seen the entire package, and it still has to be ratified by the European Union member states. The global NFT market cap is up 1.22%. Sales volume is down 6.31%. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are CryptoPunks, followed by Otherdeed, Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, and CloneX. Now keep in mind, Some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. We found out about Binance's global law enforcement training program through a Tuesday blog post. I say found out, but I'm not sure that that's entirely accurate. Maybe I should say we were introduced to this program, because even unofficially, Binance's investigations team has been holding workshops for law enforcement for over a year now. Binance expanded their investigations team, and they've been holding some one-day workshops ever since then. These workshops were designed to help law enforcement get better at the job of detecting and prosecuting financial crimes, specifically crypto-related cybercrimes. And they were held all over: Argentina, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Israel, Netherlands, Philippines, Sweden, South Korea, and the UK. These are supposed to be intensive one-day in-person workshops that cover blockchain technology, legal issues, and anti-money laundering policies. So this team claims that they responded to more than 27,000 law enforcement requests since last November. They had an average response time of 3 days. According to Binance, they're a team of highly trained professionals. They include security experts and former law enforcement officers among their number, some of whom were involved in taking down Silk Road and Russia's Hydra market. The team is led by Tigran Gambarian. They are a former investigator with the IRS in their cyber crimes unit, and he's quite proud of the team's 3-day response time. He called it, quote, faster than any traditional financial institution. He joined Binance last September. He said, quote, we are seeing an increased demand for training to help educate on and combat crypto crimes. To meet that demand, we have bolstered our team to conduct more training and work hand in hand with regulators across the globe. And so this team has been known to work to counter many types of cybercrimes. They said, quote, protecting users is our number one priority at Binance. We work hand in hand with law enforcement to track and trace suspected accounts and fraudulent activities, contributing to the fight against terrorism finance, ransomware, human trafficking, child pornography, and financial crimes. CEO CZ tweeted out that the program is unique in the crypto industry and that they will help detect and prosecute criminals that try to take advantage of digital assets. One example would be when Binance's security team identified 2 suspects in the Kyber swap heist. Hackers stole $265,000 from them, and Binance worked with Kyber swap and law enforcement on that one. And just a couple of days ago, CZ announced that his team was working with the Department of Justice to find more than 170,000 victims of the Centra tech fraud. And this is all very likely going to be completely welcome. According to a recent survey conducted by Chainalysis, 74% of law enforcement agencies say that they are under-equipped to investigate crypto-related crimes. They polled 300 respondents in 183 different agencies in the U.S. and Canada. Most of the respondents said that crypto was related to and relevant to their work, that their agencies would do well to put more resources into it. And while encouragingly, most of the respondents disagreed with the notion that crypto is just being used by criminals. Chainalysis highlighted this problem in their report. They were talking about the shift from central finance to decentralized. Those cases are much more difficult to investigate. They said, quote, if agencies aren't becoming proficient in cryptocurrency investigations now, their knowledge gaps could compound, causing them to fall further behind the criminals exploiting cryptocurrency regularly. Jervis Grigg is the Global Public Sector Chief Technology Officer for Chainalysis. He was talking about the need for law enforcement to get the right training to handle blockchain-related crime. He said, quote, law enforcement and national security agencies need the right training and tools to improve domain awareness, enhance investigations, and strengthen response capabilities. Specifically, agencies should consider creating a center of excellence or a working group of crypto-related subject matter experts to leverage those tools and training. Now, given the state of things, I expect Binance will have no shortage of potential customers, at least as far as their training goes anyway. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. Take care of yourselves, but take care of each other too. We'll see you tomorrow.